Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a piece of technology that is uh, so simple, so fundamental that we almost never think about it. The candle.
Right, and yet it completely reshaped human civilization.
Absolutely. And our mission today is to dig into that. We want to look at three things: how the tech actually evolved, the massive problems it solved, and then the huge cultural impact that's still with us.
And you have to start with the problem, really. You have to understand the darkness. Before the candle, humanity was, and I'm not exaggerating, a slave to the sun.
So literally living a daybreak to sunset existence.
Completely. I mean, you had things like pine torches, but they were awful. They burned for just a few minutes, kicked out tons of black smoke, and were a huge fire hazard.
But what about oil lamps? I know ancient civilizations had those. Weren't they a solution?
They existed, yes, but they were clumsy. The fuel, usually animal fat, was expensive. The flame was tiny, often described as being, like a bean. And most importantly, they weren't stable or portable.
Which meant you couldn't really work by them. And I saw in our sources that some early cities, like in the Qin and Han dynasties, actually had to ban night work.
They had to. The risk of burning down the entire city, which was mostly wood, was just too high. So that lack of safe, stable light was a hard limit on economic and social life.
Okay, so let's unpack that fight against the sunset. When did we finally start to win? What was the first big technical leap?
It all goes back to the ancient Romans. They invented what they called the candle, the first true wicked candle.
A wick. So that was the secret sauce.
That was everything. The simple act of rolling up some papyrus and dipping it in fat gave the flame stability. It gave it portability. Two things the oil lamp never really had.
And from there, the materials started getting better, right?
Exactly. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and you have beeswax candles. They burned clean, no horrible smell like the cheap tallow animal fat candles. They became a huge status symbol for the church, for nobility.
But that's still a luxury item. When did it become something for everyone?
For that, you need chemistry. The real game changer doesn't happen until the 19th century.
Yeah, with the French chemist Michel Eugène Chevreul. What did he actually figure out?
So in the 1820s, he found a way to extract something called stearic acid from animal fat. Basically, he purified it. He took out all the gross, smoky stuff like glycerin.
Ah, so you're left with a much cleaner wax?
You're left with stearin wax. It was hard, it burned cleanly, and it didn't smell. Suddenly, you have the potential for clean light for everyone, and right on cue, the Industrial Revolution steps in.
The machine.
The machine. An American named Joseph Morgan in 1834 invents a device for mass production. It took the process from making a few dozen candles an hour to an incredible 1,500 an hour.
1,500,
Right.
that's an explosion in production.
It's a total paradigm shift. Suddenly, clean, long-burning light, especially after paraffin wax became common in the 1850s, was cheap. It was available to everyone. The problem of time, of fire risk, it was solved for the masses.
And that just unlocked everything. Nighttime study, factories running multiple shifts, commerce after dark.
Exactly. And that economic impact is, amazingly, still with us. We think of candles as just for, ambiance now.
Sure, for mood lighting.
Right. But look at Dongguan Town in China. They call it China's Candle First Village. It produces over 1 billion candles a year. That's a $120 million industry employing 20,000 people.
That's staggering. It's a modern industrial economy built on this ancient piece of tech.
And that gets to the other side of the story, the transition from a purely functional tool to a cultural one.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me. Like birthday candles? I never thought about it, but that's an ancient Greek ritual for a moon goddess that we still do.
It is. The candle became pure symbol. In Christianity, it's the light of Christ. In Buddhism, it's wisdom overcoming darkness. And even in our secular lives, that soft light does something to us.
It changes the mood. The candlelight dinner.
Right. Of course. Our sources say 70% of people prefer it for creating a romantic atmosphere. It's a ritual to shift from the busy doing mode of the day to a more reflective being mode.
So it's this perfect case study. A simple technical evolution solves a huge practical problem, which then creates massive economic and eventually cultural change.
That's it in a nutshell.
So when you pull it all together, this little stick of wax didn't just change how long we could see. It fundamentally reshaped how we structure our lives, our economies, and even our most personal traditions.
So think about this the next time you light a candle. Maybe for a birthday or just to relax. Are you just taking part in a modern ritual, or are you tapping into that ancient Roman technology that for the first time in history truly defeated the tyranny of the sunset?